I'll never, ever, ever forget what it's like to tell somebody that they've just catastrophically lost someone. I heard a lot of crying, a lot of falling apart, a lot of pain. The most important event of March actually for us was not COVID. It was that the fact that a very dear friend of mine, a former coaching client who I was extremely close with, who was the chief customer officer at Torch, had his name was Eric Bankson. He went on a rock climbing trip on March 8th and he fell 300 feet to his death. And that sent a massive shock throughout our whole company. And so that was actually the most severe event for us, really, of this whole year.
How did you guys deal with that, or how did you process it?
Well, that night I had to get on the phone with, you know, all of my employees. My co-founder and I felt like it was really important to call up our employees. It was a Sunday night and tell them what happened. And Eric was a special human. He was a very seasoned meditator himself. He had spent, 3 months living in Burma, meditating, shaved eyebrows, shaved head. Like he didn't do anything lightly. Eric took things, he was very focused. He was an experienced meditator, very spiritually mature person. He was also a former Bain consultant, had been a VP at DaVita Health. Like this is a really special guy who was larger than life, who everyone in the company looked up to. And and so I had to call our employees and tell them that he was dead. And I'll never, ever forget what it's like to tell somebody that they've just catastrophically lost someone. I heard a lot of crying, a lot of falling apart, a lot of pain, and it was a really important practice for me to go through and have all those phone calls with my employees and tell them myself, because I think as a CEO, any kind of leader, it's really important to be connected to people's pain and not shy away from it, and to give them a chance to be in pain and to sit with them through it. And so that's probably one of the most greatest honors of my whole life, is talking to my employees about Eric's death. I will never forget that.
That's incredible, and kind of an incredible commitment on your part. I feel that mostly, or many people in the business world, many people generally, I guess, don't want to be with their pain, don't want to be with pain generally, their own or other people, and would do almost anything to not be in that situation where they're, sitting with people's pain and just holding space for them. How, uh, I guess you had some practice because of, your work with the Zen hospice and your work meditating and kind of being a counselor and therapist. Like, was there anything else that prepared you for it, or how do you become the type of leader that where you could do that and you embrace doing it?
You know, um, there's really nothing that there's nothing that really prepares you for death like meditation and like Buddhist practice. There's this whole concept in Buddhism that awakening is dying before you die. And I'm nowhere close to that, but I think that just spending a lot of time thinking about impermanence and thinking about death in a healthy and constructive way. I know those, for a lot of people, those two things would sound very opposed, but they're actually not. That's that that prepared me. It prepared me for my father overdosed on OxyContin. That's how he died in 2014. And then Eric died, on March 8th of 2020. the only thing that brings you close to being able to prepare for those kinds of events is doing your own work on your own death, and the fact that your own death is quite imminent, and to come to a place of acceptance of that.